Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Saturday that a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenski is possible, upon reaching certain results in the form of agreements of the two sides. At the same time, when signing the documents that the delegations have to agree on, for us the main and fundamental thing remains who exactly will sign these documents from the Ukrainian side, Peskov added. According to Associated Press asked whether Russia had contacts with the United States following the negotiations, he said that if Putin and Trump consider it appropriate to hold a conversation, the media will be informed. For now, we have to do what the delegations were able to agree on yesterday. This is, of course, first of all, to carry out a swap of 1,000 for 1,000 and exchange the very list of conditions that I spoke about and that my colleague Medinsky spoke about yesterday, Peskov said. The first direct Russia-Ukraine peace talks since 2022 ended after less than 2 hours Friday, and while both sides agreed to exchange 1,000 prisoners each in what would be their biggest such swap, they clearly remained far apart on key conditions for ending the fighting. Both sides also discussed a ceasefire and a meeting between their heads of state, according to Chief Ukrainian Delegate, Defense Minister Rustem Umerov. Russian delegation head Vladimir Medinsky, an aide to President Vladimir Putin, said both sides agreed to provide each other with detailed ceasefire proposals, with Ukraine requesting the heads of state meeting, which Russia took under consideration.
Такая встреча, как результат работы делегаций двух сторон при достижении определенных договоренностей этих делегаций, возможно, считаем ее возможным, но именно как результат работы и по достижению определенных результатов в виде договоренности двух сторон. При этом, при подписании документов, которые предстоит согласовать делегация, для нас главным и принципиальным остается, кто именно будет с украинской стороны подписывать эти документы. Нет, контактов не было. Если разговор президента Путина и Трампа считают целесообразно провести, мы вас проинформируем. Пока предстоит сделать то, о чем смогли условиться делегация вчера. Это, конечно, прежде всего выполнить обмен 1000 на 1000 и обменяться вот теми самыми перечнями условий, о которых я говорил, и о которых вчера сказал мой коллега Medinsky.
Ukraine's defense minister Rustem Umerov told reporters on Friday that his team and the Russian delegation had agreed to the exchange of 1,000 captives each. According to Associated Press, the announcement comes after the first direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine since Moscow's invasion in 2022 ended after less than 2 hours, according to the Turkish Foreign Ministry and a senior Ukrainian official. Such an exchange would be their biggest prisoners of war swap since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Speaking after the meeting, Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov said the talks also included a discussion about a potential meeting between the leaders of both countries. The agenda that has been given to our host and our partners was to discuss, first, is the ceasefire. Second one is the humanitarian track, is the exchanges, and third is a potential meeting on the leaders' level, Umerov said. We need to exchange people and soon we will inform you what is the next stage.
We've finished our meeting. The agenda that has been given to our host and our partners was to discuss first is the ceasefire, second one is the humanitarian track, is the exchanges, and third is a potential meeting on the leaders level. As a result, we've agreed to exchange 1,000 persons to 1,000, and we're working on other modalities, and our colleagues are in contact and will exchange all the documents. We need to exchange people, and soon we will inform you what is the next stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The leaders of 47 European countries and organizations gathered Friday for a one-day summit in Albania's capital, Tirana, to discuss security and defense challenges across the continent, with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine at the top of the agenda. According to Associated Press, the theme of the European Political Community, or EPC, summit in Tirana is New Europe in a New World, Unity, Cooperation, Joint Action. Speaking in front of leaders, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama, expressed his hope that Europe's journey moving forward would be one of return and renaissance, and not of abduction. When Donald Trump says that God saved him from the bullet because the Almighty had a plan for America, he tells only half of the truth. The other half is that God had a plan for Europe, too, and it could not be more obvious, Rama said. Europe, once again, has a God-given opportunity to reinvent itself. Let us ensure that Europa's journey, ours in this case, is not one of abduction as in the painting of Veronese, but of return and renaissance. The gathering also addressed ways to improve the continent's competitiveness and tackle unauthorized migration. The EPC was also a setting for leaders to meet bilaterally, or in small groups, to weigh in on major security issues. The inaugural summit in Prague in 2022 saw the leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia holding rare talks in an effort to ease tensions between the longtime adversaries. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski is among the leaders invited to the event in Tirana. On the eve of the summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin spurned an offer by Zelenski to meet face-to-face in Turkey to try to secure a ceasefire with Moscow. Last weekend, Zelenski hosted French President Emmanuel Macron, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk in Kiev, where they made a joint call for a 30-day end to hostilities.
Let's give Europe's young people and start-uppers a better reason to stay than just talking about weapons and rearming. And let's give them a strong motivation to build and to dream on European soil, instead of looking and going far away to follow their dreams. When Donald Trump says that God saved him from the bullet because the Almighty had a plan for America, he tells only half of the truth. The other half is that God had a plan for Europe too. And it could not be more obvious. Europe, once again, has a God-given opportunity to reinvent itself. Let us ensure that Europa's journey, ours in this case, is not one of abduction, as in the painting of Veronese, but of return and renaissance.
Well, first of